Let's go to the story coming out of New York, of course. You remember, of course, the video of Jazmine Headley. She was the black woman who was in a food stamps office, and there were no seats. She sat on the floor with her child. Then the security called NYPD. Now, the cops union in New York claims the officers were trying to step in to stop a dispute between the mom and the peace officers assigned by the New York Human Resources Administration to provide security at that office. I can't actually tell that that was happening. The NYPD commissioner has also said that that he has seen body cam video, and they were actually trying that. Folks, if you actually look at this video, it's not hard to figure out. I mean, they literally are I don't see anywhere in this video where the officers are trying to stop the resource officers. I don't see where anybody is saying, hey, everybody back up, be quiet, leave her be, let's sort it out. No, what I see very clearly, them pulling on her, trying to remove the baby from her arms. Now, remember, it was Headley who was then arrested and sent to Rikers Island. She was there for several days before she was released from the notorious New York City jail. A judge dropped all charges, but there was an outstanding warrant in New Jersey, so they kept her in Rikers Island until Tuesday night. New Jersey authorities dropped that warrant, so she got out and was reunited with her baby. Damone, folks, we should have the video of her. So this was, of course, a photo, her being reunited, of course, with her child there. And so, again, talk about unbelievable. But again, you hear these cops talking about de-escalating the situation, but did you actually see that? Joining us right now is LACY Davis, Black Cops Against Police Brutality. LACY, when you hear the commissioner saying, oh, no, my officers are trying to de-escalate, I'm sorry, I'm watching the video trying to see where was the de-escalation.
Well, you're right, Roland. What happens is incredulous that the commissioner would make such a statement, and that is part and parcel of the problem, as you and I have talked about this in the past, and that is that law enforcement is tone deaf, and law enforcement has a mindset that says, because we're the police, what we tell you, you should believe, and don't believe your lying eyes. And that started with Rodney King, and it has continued. In de-escalation, what you may have seen was someone sitting on the floor with Miss Headley and talking to her in a very calm and respectful voice while she sat there on the floor with her baby. That was not de-escalation. That was law enforcement escalating their behavior.
And obviously you have the police, and they're trying to say, you know what, trying to protect their own. But here's the issue. I've seen countless videos, and I'm telling you right now, rarely have I seen a video where an officer involving somebody black is de-escalating a situation.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of video around it, and I imagine that it happens some places, but it's not happening as frequently as we see the aggression and the escalation. And I believe, there was an ACLU report some 10 years ago that talked about police violence and use of force. And it said the attitude of the police officer on the street was a reflection of the leadership at the top. And this is what we see. When the commissioner gives you a pass and says they were de-escalating, and the police union says they were de-escalating, yet the Brooklyn district attorney, who is the highest law enforcement officer in that area, Eric Gonzalez, says that it was horrific, the violence that he saw. The judge, Craig Walker from Brooklyn, says it was a horrific arrest. And New Jersey courts, even I think from a sympathetic point of view, they actually dismissed the warrant, gave her a fine and community service. So everyone who's supposed to be in this continuum in terms of law enforcement, some people are synthesized to it, while law enforcement is saying and taking a hard line as though there's a need to be tough on crime with a 23-year-old holding a baby sitting on the floor. They just don't get it, and it's coming through in what they're saying.
And so if you are, when it comes to this woman here, what should she do next? Do you believe that she'll be suing this police department? And what should Mayor Bill de Blasio be saying to his police commissioner?
Well, I think that he should be saying to his police commissioner that we have to change that narrative. That's just not acceptable. It's not service. It is not the CPR that we saw on some of the vehicles in NYPD. It's not courteous. It's not professional, and it's not respectful. So it goes against even their mantra about what they articulate they believe. I think if I were the mayor, I'd say to him, you've got to tell the truth about what you're looking at. That is not de-escalation. You're actually endangering the child because she's holding on to the child as any mother would, and you have officers attempting to rip the child out of her arms. So if anyone's endangering the welfare of the child, it is the officers, and then there's an officer that pulled out a taser. So what do you think happens when you shoot a taser with 50,000 volts of electricity into the mother holding the baby? What do you think? And what happens if you miss the mother and hit the baby? So it's just it's a failure on every level, from a community policing failure, from a community relations failure to a policing failure. The social reality is that she was not a threat to anyone sitting on the floor. And if you believe that there was a problem, then there was a need to sit, talk with her, and try to talk her into a chair, even bring a chair over to her. I'd be curious to know, was the place crowded? Was it overcrowded? Was there no place to sit? Was she just frustrated with being there in terms of service delivery? And again, that is not providing service to her as a client in the public.
All right, LACY Davis, we appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Roland.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, here's a word from one of our partners. I want you to write this website down, marijuanastock.org, marijuanastock.org. Now, I'm going to tell you why. As we transition into the holiday season, this is the time when we start thinking about giving and sharing. Sometimes the best gift that you can give someone is an opportunity that could potentially change their lives. That's why Transatlantic Real Estate, they've created this incredible investment opportunity for the everyday investor, and it involves legal marijuana and crowdfunding. Now, we all know that legal marijuana has created one of the fastest growing industries in the country, multi-billion-dollar industry. We also know that crowdfunding has made it easier to be an early investor of an opportunity. But it gets even better. Transatlantic Real Estate, folks, here's what they've done with their business model. They buy land that supports marijuana grow operations and lease it to licensed high-paying tenants, which means that you are the landlord of a licensed marijuana farm in a high-growth market. Now, for a limited time, you can invest as little as $300 up to $10,000 before the company goes public. Now, here's some more good news. They've extended their offer, okay, which means you still have time to be involved if you take action now. But here's the deal, though. You must complete and confirm your application to participate. You have to complete the process. Now, a lot of you are going to spend all your money buying gifts of something you're not going to be able to use in a year, but this is an investment that actually could pay off over a number of years, even decades. You could also make this an investment for someone special. Now, all you got to do is go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org to get in the game. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.